you.
You're scared. And you should be.
This is not your company anymore.
Leave the cheek of CM Punk.
Out. Combo move. This is what they've been doing. Hey, McAfee.
Everyone shut the up and sit down!
We got a mom in the front row who taught her daughter how to suck dick.
I'm Mina Shirakawa. I used to be a model. I want to put on a big show.
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome once again to the Saturday Shenanigans, hosted by yours truly, the Renegade J.J. Williams. Hi, guys. Hi, guys. CM Punk drama bullshit to the side. I still consider Hangman the worst AEW champion they've had. First of all, we're going to bring in Walter Cruz.
I said that as a joke when, what's his name, did his promo Monday. He said, I'm from a prestige university. I said he majored in Steiner math.
We've got the Heeb man, James Hebert, in the house.
I do really cool and dumb things on the internet.
Right. There's a lot of shit going on here. A lot of fucking crazy ass shit.
Where is Noah JD? Well, say his name and he appears because we believe in Noah Foster.
Fuck is this intro? It is one of those strange where as fans, we do have these desires of what we want to see, but sometimes you can't always get what you want, and there are reasons you truly don't get what you want. I wouldn't even listen to this in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. What the fuck is this shit? God, rapid whack. Like I said, never been a greater time to be a wrestling fan, and with more companies in a more lucrative spot, in a more comfortable business spot, in a sense of mind, it seems, than ever. Again, WWE is not the only one. It is not the end-all, be-all. So let's go back to the Renegade Wrestling JJ Williams to get the official word. JJ, speak!
Make sure you tune in every week because you never know who's going to drop in to join the shenanigans. Catboy is in the house.
Hello, my internet family. I say if you want to make them as evil as possible, make them really mad.
We have Mansfield joining the party now. What is going on, Josh?
Like I told no one when we were in Cleveland, him joining JC was just an unfortunate side effect of my shenanigans towards you, JJ. I know how it can get better, Noah. The panel chooses you.
Shut the fuck up, Josh.
You said that so like. They got someone intro back. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Just think how you and I had lunch together the other week.
That was different.
Ladies and gentlemen, the King is here. Say his name and he appears. We believe in King A-Train. There are so many believers in Joe Hendry. The only person on this panel that doesn't believe in Joe Hendry is King A-Train. Tell the world why you do not believe in Joe Hendry.
The reason I do not believe Joe Hendry is he is Fandango 2.0 in a entrance merchant. I rest my case, Your Honor.
Hey! There's nothing wrong with being an entrance merchant. He has some of the best entrances of all time.
Teleporting into the command center, all the way from Angel Grove High, Datilla.
Oh, yeah. I went to the command center on Thursday. I went to Vasquez Rocks, which is where they filmed a lot of episodes. Somebody actually climbed to the very top of those rocks. I made it halfway. I was like, I'm not going up there. Definitely Toni Storm versus Mariah May. That's the one match I probably am looking forward to the most. I really like the story. I'm familiar with all about Eve, so if it plays out that way, I kind of know how this is gonna go.
Say goodnight, Datilla.
Good night.
James, you did say his name. So he shall appear, ladies and gentlemen. first time on the Shenanigans. Jeff Meacham is in the motherfucking house.
All right, we're coming in hard with the botch. All right, fucking hell. It's good to be back. It's good to have an opportunity to talk to the crowd on a Saturday. If you want to have yourself stomach through it, you can go back and watch when the main event Mafia took over Impact. That's what James was talking about. So if everybody just joined us, we're talking about people sedating people, attempted murder, boys, and tips. Welcome to Saturday Shenanigans, everybody. Aren't you glad I'm back?
Welcome back, Jeff.
Cool.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome to a very special Sunday Shenanigans. It is I here to help introduce things since I have been absent for the last couple of weeks. It is I, the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams. Good to see everybody this evening, but I am not here alone. First person we're going to bring in is the man who's actually going to be emceeing, hosting, as he's been doing a spectacular job in my absence. And I know that he will keep things flowing and going smooth and hopefully going a little closer to the short side because I know he has work tomorrow. Simple man, Noah Foster. You know, my friend, I know I've said it to you before. I know I've said it on the air in private, but I'm going to go ahead and say it again. I am eternally thankful for everything you have done in my absence lately, sir. Stepping up, hitting home run after home run after home run. Ladies and gentlemen, the Babe Ruth of the Simply Reliable Studios. Go ahead and take things over, good sir.
First and foremost, good evening, everybody, and welcome back once again to a very special edition of your weekend Shenanigans, the moderated weekend conversation of Wrestling Madness. I am once again back here, forever grateful and humbled to be here to encourage this passion and conversation amongst all of you. I am the Seminole Foster. God bless Ranking Wrestling, JJ Williams. Thank you for that ringing endorsement. We have a great conversation ahead tonight, but we're going to keep things like I usually try and do, simple. And we're simply going to focus on SummerSlam Night 2, Sunday night. Unless you all, of course, try and steer the conversation forward. The only way you can do that, of course, is if you super chat or pay by the passion. It is truly as simple as that. Safet, Chris Harper, Kitty Cat, Nathan Banks. Good to see everybody, all the regulars, all the usuals. And for those that are tuning in for the first time, please like, subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. That being said, as I bring order forward, here's a man that will always bring the restaurant order forward. Going to start bringing in the cast. It might be a very simple panel tonight as I first have one half of the Canadian Connection, Nick Ferrantes. Nick, how are you, good sir? How are you feeling after SummerSlam this Sunday night?
Surprise. Interest. I don't know. I'm very. We'll get into it, but mid will be the word I use.
All right. Well, again, everyone has an outlook and a different opinion, and I appreciate your outlook as always and what you bring forward here on the Shenanigans. And joining us here tonight is not just you two, but coming back to the Shenanigans via Parts Unknown. It is not the myth, but he is the legend. He's the man. He is the one that encouraged us all to be a part of this idea and facet of the business. Jeff Mother M. Meacham. Jeff, Avatar Man, good to have you on the horn once again. Straight up, bro, simply put, how you feeling?
We are not amused.
Fair enough. All right. Well, that being said, I'm sure others will join in the conversation. But again, we're going to try and keep things on the short side tonight because the new week is ahead with work, with family responsibilities, and whatever else you might have going into your Monday morning outside the Sunday night. There we go. Yes, Jeff, I see your hand.
Just so you know, I only saw the title match and the aftermath. So asking my opinion on anything else from a visual perspective is going to be pretty much useless. I have no idea even what happened, to be honest with you. So I just wanted to pop in for the main. So if you want to have somebody else come in and give their perspective prior to the main event, I'm cool with sitting in the green room because I'm on a bus as it is.
Okay, fair enough. Soon we get to the main event, I'll bring you on the horn, but it's good to have you. Love you, brother. All right, so why don't we go ahead and get right into it.
and let's keep this conversation brief, simple, and ongoing. It was SummerSlam 92, first time ever, 2-night SummerSlam, biggest party of summer. Want to give a quick shout out, by the way, to Aaron Ripp from No DQ, as of course he does his SummerSlam 92 review. Say yeah, No DQ, and stay tuned for the fallout, not only from WWE, but from No DQ on the No DQ review this Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live. Tonight's festivities kicked off with the women once again, back at WrestleMania 41 Night 2. Triple threat action. It was Naomi, the current WWE Women's World Heavyweight Champion, defending the gold against Naomi coming in, defending against Rhea Ripley, and of course, Io Sky, Genius of the Sky. There we go. I didn't realize the name. Apologies, real quick. Let me pause because that threw me off. I got two JJs. Also joining us here, always reliable. He was part of the call. Of course, subscribe to him if you haven't already. The Rage of Wrestling, Walter Cruz. Walter, how are you?
I'm good. Can you guys hear me? Because I'm on my phone while I'm cooking, so it's a little different.
Yes.
Ooh, what are you making, Walter?
Some spaghetti.
Ooh, see, I'm making pasta too. Jeez.
Oh, there you go. Pasta is the king of dishes, it feels like, as we talk about the king and queen pins of WWE. All right, let's go ahead and talk right about this first match, shall we? It was Naomi, it was Rhea Ripley, and Io Sky. Naomi was, of course, brought down the ring by her father, a very well-proclaimed guitarist, and it was what you expected. Naomi did feel like a third wheel, as Rhea and Io wanted to sell things amongst themselves. Rhea and Io did everything they could to make sure Naomi was isolated and out of the equation. Multiple times, Naomi came in and took advantage of those opportunities, not only to preserve her championship, but get the better of the two, sometimes 2-on-1 situations. Great combination into the DDT clothesline at one point. Rhea Ripley, of course, with pretzel covers on Naomi throughout the match. At one point, she hit an avalanche riptide, but Io Sky came in for the save. Io Sky, picture perfect moonsault from the top, a great scouting by Naomi as Io crashed on top of Rhea after Naomi hit Rhea face first with a X Factor. And Naomi was able to pin Naomi for a near fall. As the match kept jogging for position, got really intense. Rhea Ripley was losing herself at one point as Io cost Rhea again. Rhea's undoing being Io Sky. One key miscommunication put the match in Naomi's favor, almost giving her it for another near fall. At the end of the day, it came down to Io Sky getting the better of Rhea Ripley once again, and Naomi coming in as a thief in the night with a roll-up of high on the tights on Mommy, pinning Rhea Ripley, and Rhea Ripley, unfortunately, was the fall person, and Naomi is still Women's World Champion. I thought for what it was, all three of these women had a very strong showing here. I think the jury is out whether Naomi is still a third wheel, but she was more successful this weekend than Jade Cargill, and Bianca Belair was nowhere to be found. Naomi is still the Women's World Heavyweight Champion, and Rhea Ripley ate the fall, which means Io Sky could have an out for maybe a one-on-one rematch. But also, since this result, we now know in Clash in Paris, it's Naomi versus Stephanie Valkyrie for the Women's Heavyweight Championship. Nick, what do you think of this result, and what do you think of Naomi's run? What do you expect it to be?
Okay, so the match to me felt like a standard TV match. I didn't really feel like there was anything extra to it. It was a standard good match. It wasn't knock your. I think now where we go from here, and I'm not looking ahead to Clash in Paris because we already know Valkyrie is getting that shot.
Mm-hmm.
This just tells me that Ripley's winning it in Paris. Not in Paris, in Perth. She's walking in there the champion. Yeah, exactly. Botch. She's walking in there the champion, or she's walking in there the challenger, walking out as a champion. That's all that means to me. I think Rhea's going to win it back there because, I mean, you're not going to let Rhea, one of your big stars, lose in her hometown.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where we go from there. And then transitioning, I don't know what you do with Naomi then, because I mean, like we saw from night one, Jade didn't win, so now you got to build Jade back up, and this is why I said last night or the night before when we were all talking, it would have made more sense for Jade to win and have Naomi cash on Jade, because then you extend that story. Your only thing now with the women's world heavyweight championship, to me, is Naomi drops it to Rhea in Perth, and then from there, where does Naomi go? If Jade doesn't have the title, where does Naomi go? Where does Bianca fit in our list? There's a lot of very convoluted questions that are now presented with this. But at the end of the day, it was just to me, it was a standard triple threat. Nothing crazy, nothing over the top. It was good. It was good.
All right, fair enough. Walter, to that point, Naomi, in what I call the Trinity of Power, Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, she currently is the only one of those three that not only active, she is champion. Io Sky, though, also was not involved in the decision. Regardless of what happened in Clash in Paris, do you think Io Sky should get another opportunity for the title? And what does this mean for Rhea Ripley going forward now that she's lost out literally in the proverbial pinfall? What was your thoughts on this match and outcome and what's ahead?
I feel like the match was great. I'm glad I was able to get and start on a good roll. But yeah, Io does deserve a one-on-one. However, what I think is going to happen, I was talking to JJ off screen. Perth, you have time. You have time to do the draft. You can get Rhea to SmackDown. She can go after that title. I really feel that Naomi's going to hang on for this title all the way to WrestleMania. Jade wins the Royal Rumble, and Jade beats Naomi at WrestleMania. I really feel like that's where they're going with this. And Naomi's just going to have that good run because, she deserves it, and this is her thank you for coming back. I think they're going to give her that long title run and then maybe a reset after. I don't know where you go after WrestleMania, but that's where I feel like they're going to go. And Jade can get her moment at WrestleMania. Jade's one of those strong people that don't need the title immediately. She doesn't need it right now. She can have her big moment at WrestleMania.
That's fair. I mean, again, the Royal Rumble leads to that as well as Elimination Chambers. So, and Jade had her first, while Bianca has had many. Rhea Ripley has been on top for 2+ years. Now we'll see what they can do with Naomi, or what Naomi, more importantly, can do for herself. JJ, what do you think about this triple threat, and what do you think now about, for what it's worth, Stephanie Valkyrie is one of the hottest rising stars in WWE right now, and she's going into her first chance for a world championship on the main roster, literally at the next WPLE. So what do you think of the situation we got now with Stephanie Valkyrie and Naomi, with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky looking on from the outside?
Well, I don't know if I'd go as far as Nick did and call it a standard TV match.
Yeah, it was more than that, in my opinion.
But it definitely wasn't on the level of Bianca, Io, and Rhea from Mania. I'd throw it somewhere in the middle. Naomi versus Stephanie Valkyrie is going to be interesting, because I think a lot of people were expecting Io versus Stephanie too after the Raw after Mania. But the cash in and all this kind of changed those plans. I'm not saying Naomi can't deliver a great match. She's a multi-time champion. Hell, she's been the Knockouts champion. But Stephanie is a whole other can of worms. Stephanie is on another level, and she's riding a wave right now. Do you catch the lightning in the bottle and move the belt to her? What does that do to Naomi? It almost makes this title reign pointless. And I kind of feel the same if she loses the belt to Rhea in Perth. And then the other thing we have to factor in is, like Safet threw in, the Crown Jewel title. Last year at Crown Jewel, it was established that it was basically world champion, Raw champion versus SmackDown champion.
Correct.
Face off against each other to become the Crown Jewel champion.
Correct.
So if they go with that again this year, based off current, it would be Naomi and Tiffany in Perth. to see who's the crown jewel champion. So Rhea would get screwed in her home country.
Yep.
Unless she fights in a separate match, maybe for number one contendership, where you could then put her over and then get her a title match. I think they're going to be there the next night on Raw. I think they're doing multiple shows, SmackDown, Crown Jewel, and Raw, all in Australia.
And we
So
seen
you
the
give her the title match on Raw.
Yep.
But to Walter's point that we were talking about off air before the pay-per-view even started, I think, and I mentioned it last night to you, Nick, I think the game plan is get Naomi away from Jade, let Jade win the Rumble, and then she can go after Naomi because she knows she can already beat her. If Tiffany is still champion come Rumble.
Keyword if.
She's already lost to her once, but she's beaten Naomi twice. So the odds would say have her go against Naomi, beat her a third time, take the title. Instead of going against someone you've lost to and you don't know if you could win. But I thought it was a good match. I thought it was a solid match. I'm curious to see what they do with Naomi and Stephanie at the end of the month and where they go from there, because we don't know if they're going to carry on with the Crown Jewel title matches like they did last year, or if they're going to save that for only when Crown Jewel is in Saudi.
And that's what I was going to point out is I think those titles are being kept in Saudi in the WWE experience.
They are, but it's not to say that they couldn't get them on loan for a weekend.
Yeah,
They did do that, of course, too, to your point. Like, we literally seen them brought in via military-grade security armed weaponry to be showcased on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown in the GM's freaking office.
Yeah.
All right, well, fair enough.
That's the big key, is finding out how they're going to handle Crown Jewel. And we've mentioned that once or twice before on the show. Are they going to treat it like a normal PLE? Or is it going to be under the Crown Jewel rules that were established last year, since it's not in Saudi?
Yeah. I think last year Paul Levesque was talking about how he wants it to be like an annual thing and see who could get like maybe the most rings overall. Imagine somebody started out with 10 rings across their hands. Cody Rhodes, of course, having one. Liv Morgan, of course, having the initial one for the women. And again, per for Australia, completely up in the air what Rhea Ripley could be doing there, or if she's even involved. But now Rhea Ripley has literally been at the worst undoing possible via Io Sky and Naomi. We saw how unhinged she was. So there's no telling what Rhea Ripley is going to do now. She might literally have a breakdown and assault everybody just to find another way to get back at this title. Brand split, LOL, WWE draft, whether it happens or not. Rhea Ripley right now is the most outside factor to the entire women's championship picture, which is crazy to think about.
See, I would tend to, like, I'm with you guys. I get where you guys are coming from. I think it would be more of a plausible thing if she didn't take the pin tonight. I think if Io took the pin tonight, it might have made it a little bit better, because then she could have came out and said, "You didn't pin me. That didn't matter." You know what I mean? But because she ate that pin, regardless of it's a triple threat or not, regardless of how it happened, she ended up taking that pin.
Yeah.
So that's where it's kind of like, I
No,
can't
I
see
feel
her. I can't see her not. I agree with it could happen on Monday on Raw. I just think the moment would be better at Crown Jewel, which is why I'm saying I think it happens. I think she gets that moment at Crown Jewel, but it's like you guys said, we'll see, right?
Yeah, about to say we got plenty of time, so then only time will tell. Moving on from there into our second match of the night. First off, we had endorsements talking about TLC, the first TLC match, of course, being 25 years ago. Innovators, the original match, we had the Dudley boys in the audience, Bubba Ray Dudley and Devon Dudley. And of course, they were not the only part of that match, as of course, we also had Matt and Jeff Hardy, the current TNR Tag Team Champions. And not only did we see both teams, and they, of course, had on the little banner, TNR Tag Team Champions, we, of course, also were reminded it will be the Dudleys versus the Hardys one final time at Bound for Glory. And why did they say all this? Because it was time for a human demolition derby. Jesus Christ, JJ, that was that and then some. 12-man warfare, tables, ladders, chairs, oh my, for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championships. It was a human highlight reel of a cacophony of bodies laid out everywhere. I think there were 6 tables broken and 3 ladders broken and a cancel array broken in half. So basically, we started off with the Moisture Machine Guns and DIY renewing hostilities. After there was a 5-on-1 face-off with the Wyatt Six, who assaulted everybody prior to this. This was why it was United Front by the SmackDown Tag Team Division to try and take those titles off the Wyatt Six. Still weird seeing the Fireflies in daylight, but that's a whole different conversation. As things escalated and broke down, there was multiple Joey-style hello moments with chairs thrown in the face, tables set up everywhere, bodies flying everywhere. At one point, we saw Montez Ford with Higher Hobbs and LeBron James clear the ring post and wipe out a couple of men on the outside. There was 4 different aerial offensive moves between Andrade El Idolo, Rey Fenix, Nathan Frazier, the Wyatt Six, and all bodies and all parties got involved, including but not limited to B-Fab, Eric Rowan, Uncle Howdy, Nikki Cross, and Candice LeRae. Candice LeRae taking the damnedest bump of the night when DIY looked like they had the titles dead to rights as an inverted push Montez Ford pushed Johnny Gargano into the ladder and sent his wife coroning down from the top through a suspended ladder bridge that broke Smack Damn Dab in half. She was a non-factor for the rest of the entire duration. As we also, of course, saw the Morrison Machine Guns wiped out at multiple moments. Another key point here, DIY was at the top of the ladder, and the Morrison Machine Guns set them down, shades of WrestleMania 17, through 3 damn tables on the outside. It was at one point, it was Fraxium and the Wyatt Six, Uncle Howdy trying to seize the championships after Nikki Cross neutralized the BFAB. Yeah, BFAB was there too. Anyway, Mandible Claw applied to multiple members, but Uncle Howdy was neutralized. There was a glimmer of a moment that DIY was going to win. Also, highlight of the night, going another shout out here. I loved the core strength of Ciampa, able to raise his body completely up above an attempted mid-range spear off a ladder. That was fucking incredible, but still DIY lost. In the end, to make a human car wreck short, because the highlight reel justifies it more than me saying this person got smacked down through 3 tables, 1 table, sons of fifth powerbomb by Andrade Eagle, as he usually does in Money Bank ladder matches, and a mixed reaction. It was the original 2 that hold the titles, Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis, that ascended as the Wyatt Six are still WWE SmackDown Tag Team Champions. But every team took every risk possible and paid for it too. JJ, what did you think about this human car wreck compared to previous TLCs? What does this mean for the SmackDown Tag Team division? Now the Wyatt Six beat all of them. And where the hell we go from here?
Well, from here, I think we go to a hard reset because the Wyatt Six pretty much laid everybody out except for Los Garza. Los Garza, the AAA Tag Team Champions. So we can build up to maybe a title for title match with them. But aside from that, I think we need to go to a hard reset. But this match was everything I expected it to be. I told Walter, TLC matches, ladder matches, street fights need to be sponsored by car insurance companies because it was a complete and utter car wreck. And the one who took the biggest pounding, while I do hope she's okay, did love watching Candice LeRae eat shit the way she did.
That ladder smoked Smack Damn Dab in half. Dear God.
But I will say, for all the shit that I talk about her, and I'm sure Safet's going to put the hashtag purple hair twat waffle in the chat here at some point.
Why would you bring that up?
Because he always does it for me. He's a trooper. But for all the shit that I talk about her, she took that bump for a reason. She's a bad bitch.
Damn right.
Again, I said it on commentary. If you've never seen it, look up the PWG Guerrilla Warfare match where her and Joey Ryan teamed up to take on the Young Bucks.
Put her on the map.
And again, I hope she's okay. but I popped fucking hardcore to watch her go through that ladder. And there we go. Thank you, Safet. Coming through in a clutch like I knew you would.
Of course.
Never can super chat. Doesn't have the money for super chat, but we still love him because he comes through with his signatures when we need him.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Walter, again, we called this. This was absolutely nothing futs. You can only imagine what the Hardys and the Dudleys fought. Shout out to Street Fighters, by the way, giving the nod with the get the tables to the Hardys, by the way. What did you think about this? And as far as MVP, besides Candice LeRae taking that bump, I think Ciampa gave us an incredible escapist moment. But what was like the team that you think owned the match the most?
Owned it. I think they all did something. Fraxium, when they did that, when they do the Spanish fly through the damn table.
Yeah.
Maximum did that. That was awesome. But yeah, Tommaso Ciampa with that hardcore. I have never seen somebody do that to escape a moonsault. You always see that spot and people get taken off of it. And I love. Shout out to the SummerSlam as a whole. How many throwbacks did we get? With everything, it was just such a throwback day that I knew they were going to do that to the TLC. I said it. They're going to do a bunch of callbacks because the Hardys and the Dudleys were out there, and they did it. But that was an awesome spot. But yeah, you got to give it to everyone, Montez, everyone. And when Candice took that, JJ pointed out during our commentary when Candice took that, Montez looked at her like, "Holy shit, that bitch took that shit!" Like. But, you know, I think the whole thing is, it's funny. It was a little bit unfair, but, you know, there are no rules. But there were so many members of the Wyatts, and in the end, it's the numbers that won them the match. So I don't know where you go from here. But I think JJ was right about the hard set of the tag team division. I think you should split some up and send some to Raw because Raw has a weak-ass tag division. We need to see them step it up a little bit and share the wealth. But I guess SmackDown's all about the wrestling. Raw's about the spectacle since it's on Netflix. So we'll see.
Yeah, fair enough. Nick, what did you think about this TLC match and all 12 of these men literally risking life and limb for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, what it was for the glory or for the moment? What was your takeaway?
Candice LeRae ate shit. That was a rough landing. Rough landing. I think, okay, this is going to be weird of me to say. I thought it was an overbooked mess. And this is coming from a guy who, I know where JJ's going, because I if this was on AEW, I'd probably be like, oh my God. No. But I'm going to counter you that by saying I have been giving AEW shit for their 12 people tag team match. I'm just over the multi-man bullshit. I really am.
Fair enough.
And that goes for both companies.
As long as you're consistent, I'm fine with it.
It goes for both. Dude, I know this is not an AEW talk, but you can ask everybody. You can ask a lot of people that we are in common with. I was shitting on AEW all Arena Mexico because I'm like, I don't need a 6-man tag or an 8-man tag. I don't need a 10-man tag. And what the fuck is a 12-man tag? Like, no, we don't need that. So it being 6 teams like this, I felt it was convoluted and overbooked. I did not enjoy it. I kind of
if I may real quick, Nick, I think the only reason they did it was because it was the 25th anniversary of the original.
That
if it hadn't been such a milestone, and it was the event where it debuted, if it hadn't been the 25th anniversary of the inaugural TLC match, I don't think it would have been more than 4 teams tops.
How many teams were in the inaugural one?
3.
3.
So they doubled it. It was Edge and Christian, the Hardys, and the Dudleys.
Exactly.
Yep.
And so they doubled it, and they made it 6 teams.
Yep.
I think that's the only reason they did it. Now, granted, my name's not Paul Levesque, not Michael Hayes, not Bruce Pritchard. I don't have the pin.
Yeah.
A lot of people think I should for some of my booking ideas, but I think that's why it was 6 teams. It was 25 years since the original. You got to go bigger.
I get
if
it.
If the next one has 6 teams, 100% co-sign with you.
Yeah.
But if
I
the
don't know.
next
Yeah.
one goes back to 4 or 3, it was a special occasion.
Yeah, exactly.
The 6 teams were it was a bit much. Sorry, while I'm eating.
It's fine.
Yeah, the 6 teams were much, but I think at the point where for me it got me was Candice coming in, BFAB coming in, this person coming in.
Nikki.
Then you had all of Wyatt Six.
Six. Yep.
It's like, why couldn't they just go up and grab the, like, there's 6 of them. You're telling me that they couldn't just all help out, stand around the ladder and have 2 guys go up and grab it?
That'd be too easy.
And that was a throwback to TLC 2 at WrestleMania 17.
Yep.
Where Spike came in for the Dudleys, Rhino came in for Edge and Christian, Lita came out for the Hardys.
Yep.
So you had BFAB, you had Candice, you had the other Wyatts, you know. Something I definitely noticed is there were a lot of callbacks to SummerSlam and other big events past.
Exactly.
And that was definitely one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, once those start happening, I get the callbacks, but once that happened for me, I was like, "Okay, is we done yet?" The what I don't understand, and I get it. I get the premise is unhook it. The rules of the match is you have to take the titles down. If I'm Ciampa and I'm hanging up there, and Gargano's right under me, and the preface this by saying the belts are Velcro. They're not buttons. Why couldn't you just yank one and then yank the other? He was underneath you.
Okay. I think they still have the buttons on it.
No.
Yeah, because you can see the studs down the back. I just think when they wear them, it's Velcroed.
Yeah.
You know, they have Velcro on it also, so it's easier to pop right off instead of having to pop a bunch of buttons to take the belt off of you.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case.
So I think when they hang it by the buttons so that it doesn't fall easy off the Velcro, but the buttons are still there. You can see the studs.
Well, you can even see the buttons on the WWE Championship in that match when Cody had it, put it around his waist. It just,
I'll tell me about that later.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying it Velcroed right on.
Mhm.
So
it has both, but I think they use the Velcro for wearing and the
Okay.
buttons for things like ladder matches when it needs to be hung.
Yeah,
that makes
exactly.
sense.
You gotta add the mystique to the gimmick. But nonetheless, Nick, I do understand what you mean with when it comes to that. And I do think, again, it was nostalgia, it was a milestone, it was get everybody on the card, it was throw all the bodies to the wayside and let them hit the floor. Sometimes you don't need something pretty to have something memorable. And that's basically what that ladder match was. And that Tables Iron Chairs match, I thought it was a lot of fun, and I'm not surprised that the Wyatt Six won. All right. Well, moving on from there, we go into our third match. It was for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship, as the man Becky Lynch, for the new Fiend, defended against Lyra Valkyria. And this was a match that was about endurance and punishment more than anything else. From the bell, Lyra, of course, being the early aggressor, mostly firing along the outside, both women sharing a kendo stick. At one point, though, kendo stick versus crowbar. Gee, I wonder who I'm taking in that fight, JJ. As Lyra Valkyria was looking to literally swing for the fences and take the head off the man. She missed, though. Eventually, as this escalated into nothing but continued punishment, Becky Lynch pulled out a zip tie and restrained Lyra's hands. This was a story for a duration of the match where Lyra was left defenseless, but constantly kept fighting back and tried to find any sort of metal sharp object she could to cut herself free. At one point, there was a toolbox to the side of Lyra, keyword side, the shoulder, not the head. Lyra survived. Eventually, the man got trapped inside Lyra's clutches. I thought we were going to get a belly to belly. Instead, it was a continuous headbutts. That was very smart by Lyra Valkyria. After creating a bit of separation between her and the man, she later went for the turnbuckle, exposed it, and tried to use the steel ring to her advantage. But Becky followed up. As Becky continued to assault Lyra, Lyra would not stay down. Becky went as far to try and restrain Lyra by wrenching her with a steel chain across the ring post, hand her out to dry, swinging her ribcage with a kendo stick, and even using, good lord of all things, a wrench constantly against Lyra's spine. Eventually, Lyra found her way underneath the ring to a fire extinguisher to extinguish the man's flame, and later on found another object underneath the ring to finally set herself free. But Becky Lynch again was able to counterattack, grabbing a steel chair and trapping Lyra inside it, swinging for the fences between the ring post and the apron, and bracing Lyra up against the announce table twice, thrusting her midsection and throat into it. While Lyra kept fighting back, Becky had enough. So much so, she stomped that chair, crushing Lyra's midsection and knocking the wind out of her. Lyra's incapacitated, but Becky knew that was not going to be enough. It wasn't about beating Lyra. It was about punishing her, hurting her, making sure she's a non-factor, not just for the title, but for her future. At one point, pulling the crowbar that Lyra brought into play in the first place. However, Bayley came out, but reluctantly, Horsewomen of NXT, put it up, represent, they did that. He said, finish her. This could be about us. This is about our time, not her trying to take our time. Reluctantly, Bayley did not go for it. She threw the crowbar to the side, and Becky went for a cheap shot with a loaded steel chain fist. And Bayley was able to counterattack. Eventually, Becky threw Bayley into the audience. And this allowed Lyra out of effing nowhere to rise like a phoenix and hit freaking Becky with a leg drop through a damn table at ringside. As she tried to bring her back in the ring, got a near fall. I thought she freaking won the title back. Lyra and Becky both at a point of desperation. Becky was absolutely out though, and Lyra trying to hoist Becky up one last time for an emphatic, I would think, Nightwing, pushed off in the ropes. Bayley was there, inadvertent, in my opinion, shot to Lyra after Lyra hit the steel ring, by the way, earlier and got manhandled slam and survived that, and Becky couldn't believe it, but she broke her nose again. Another emphatic manhandled slam off Bayley, assaulting Lyra with a cheap shot meant for Becky. Based on the way that exchange was looking, one last emphatic manhandle slam through two steel chairs, and Becky Lynch retains the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship, meaning that Lyra can no longer challenge Becky for this title ever again as long as Becky holds it. Bottom line, Bayley cost Lyra. So let's go around the horn and get y'all's thoughts towards that match. Nick, what did you think about this outcome and the Bayley factor coming to play at the very end? Do you think Bayley and Lyra will still go after each other's throats? Is Lyra going to move on to bigger and better things? And what happens next for Becky regarding the Intercontinental Championship?
Okay. JJ, you're going to give me another look again.
Get ready.
Get ready. Once, the match was going, it was at first gear, and it stayed like that for me. As soon as I saw the cable tie spot, it pulled me out of the match. Because she was free. Lyra was free from the cable tie. When I don't remember exact move that she did, but her hands were free, and the camera stayed there ever so slightly. You saw her put her hand back in.
I did see that spot.
And then twist it. So here I am. I'm like, oh God. You knew that you got caught. Why didn't you just roll with it? No.
Gotta sell.
But then to roll out of the ring and keep her hands like that. She did a good job of keeping her hands tied.
Mm-hmm.
But then she went under the ring, and when you saw it, you kind of knew. And that's why it pulled me out, because I'm like, okay, she's going under the ring because somebody's under there to fucking to tie it. So, and then when she came out and it was too tight, then I was like, okay, that's it. I'm out. So it was either too loose or too tight. But that's not where JJ's gonna give me the look now. There was no blood. There was no blood. I thought this was a blood feud. I needed blood. I needed somebody to bleed.
Glad for punishment.
I needed like no, we don't need Jesus yet. I need Jesus. It was
Pray for your brother.
And this is coming off the thank you, sir. And this is coming off the heels of watching Japanese balls and bleeding assholes. I wanted to see blood, and I did it, and I kind of was just left disappointed.
Where'd you put your plate?
My plate's right here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was muted. I was talking to my kid.
Botch. Anyway, continue, Nick.
No, but yeah, it was. I was disappointed in it because it was at the first gear and it looked like it was taking off, but the zip tie spot, it took me right out of it. And then seeing her going under the ring, I knew why it happened. So I was like, okay, I'm not interested anymore.
Okay.
Where they go from here, I mean, Lyra should have won because it just kind of makes the story. It continues the story because then you could have said Bayley coming after Becky because Becky could have been like, "Yo, you screwed me." Like, what the hell, right? But now Lyra can't challenge for this title as long as Becky has it. So where does Lyra go from here? Right? What does she do now? Does she get a tag team partner? Does she go after the tag team championships? Does she go after the main title? I think that's highly unlikely, but we'll see what happens.
Fair enough. JJ, it is one of those things where it did feel like this was a taxing match, not just for us to call, but for Lyra to endure. Like I said, it was an endurance battle for Lyra Valkyria more than anything else. It was a punishing affair. But at the end of the day, we called the result, but it was based on a unique circumstance where, again, that one inadvertent shot was the downfall of Lyra's chance. But what did you think about this overall?
Okay. I understand where Nick is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to give him as crazy of a look as he thought I was going to give him because I'll admit seeing the hands come out of the zip tie took me out of it a little bit as well.
Yeah, we saw the loosening up.
But I think they did a pretty good job trying to recover from that and cover up for it. I feel like the match went a little bit too long. As a result, the cage match that followed went a little bit too short. And we'll get there in a moment.
Oh, yeah.
But all in all, I think it was everything the match needed to be, minus that flub that kind of killed the momentum, like Nick said. I agree with him there.
I agree with him too. Again, being play-by-play, you kind of like suspension of disbelief. Even Michael Cole's like, it looked like she was able to loosen up the zip ties for a second, but her hands are still trapped inside. Well, fair enough. Walter, what did you think about this match between Becky and Lyra? Clearly, the two got to be done with each other now. She can't challenge for the title. Is Lyra done with Bayley? Is she going to go after Bayley? Will Bayley apologize to Lyra? Will Bayley go after Becky? Or does Lyra move away completely altogether from Bayley or Becky? What are your thoughts?
I think it's still gonna be Lyra and Bayley. I don't think Bayley did that by accident. She made it look like an accident, but she was way too hesitant. It looked like she really wanted to hit her with that crowbar, and Becky was almost convincing her. So I don't think that was by accident. However, I'm okay with the match. You guys are right about the whole slipping the hand out. It did take me out a little bit. But in terms of needing to bleed, I don't think they needed to bleed. Night one gave us enough blood for both nights. With the freaking blood. So we're okay with it. That was enough blood. But that was a good match, but it had its couple of flaws. But we'll see who steps up to challenge Becky. I feel like during the draft or something, somebody should step up from NXT and won that Intercontinental title. Step up. I would love to see something like that. The draft should be a little bit away, but who cares about a Prince Shenanigans? People can step up. So I would like to see maybe like a Lash Legend or somebody step up and get their IC title now.
All right, yeah, and I think Lara Valkyria could definitely become a World Championship challenger. It is one of those things, though, where Bayley and Lyra have kind of been the story of each other this year, particularly more than Becky and Lyra has been, despite the history of Becky and Lyra going back all the way to the UK. But overall, I think the match was okay. It definitely felt like a taxing affair, and the zip tie spot, yeah, we all saw the inadvertent loosening, retightening, finally freeing the wrists as well. But again, the result was what I expected. The belly factor did come into play, and now I'm curious to see what happens on Monday Night Raw with Becky in the Canal Championship. We gotta get some new challengers for this division to build another stop. Maybe they can finally do something with Ivy now, who I think has so much potential. All right. Well, overall, we are halfway through this SummerSlam card, so I think I'm going to give a moment for everybody to take a break, take a liaki, grab a drink, and when we come back, we're going to discuss the second half of SummerSlam after this. Check out what's coming up next here at the Survivor Studios, what we've already done and what's to come. After this commercial break, we'll continue on with the other half of SummerSlam Sunday. Stay tuned.
And now for a taste of things to come.
Hey there, it is the center of attention, Brittany Brooks here.
This is your NWA Women's World Television Champion.
This is the TNA Knockouts World Champion, Masha Slamovich.
Subscribe to Rage of Wrestling on YouTube. Póngase verde.
You better subscribe right now ahora to Rage of Wrestling.
Subscribe to Rage of Wrestling on YouTube.
Everybody, make sure you subscribe to Rage of Wrestling on YouTube and get them to 200 subscribers. Let's go!
Again, if you didn't hear her earlier, subscribe. And as I'm watching on trailer shows, here at the Survivor Studios, to encompass, embrace, celebrate, engage, react, and enjoy to all of the wrestling. And welcome back here once again to this special edition of the Sunday Shenanigans. I am your impromptu host for the eve, the Superman Noah Foster, with, as always, gaggle of friends in the Super Lava Studios. Rankin Wrestling, JJ Williams, Walter Cruz, Nick Ferrantes, and of course we have Jeff Mother Effin Meacham in the green room looking to get thoughts, particularly towards the main event. We discussed the first half of the card. Now we move into the second half, as we're strictly focusing on SummerSlam Night 2 recap. Keep it short, sweet, and simple. All right. Match number 4. Y'all know what I mean. It was for the WWE United States Championship inside a steel cage. So as the call of the current champion versus Jacob Fatu. And arguably the shortest match in the last steel cage match I can remember as well, too. Straight up, both men were battling each other across the cage Sikoa was looking for a way to escape a couple times over. But he got a moment there when he slammed Jacob Fatu hip attack inside the steel cage side first. But Jacob Fatu, all gas, no breaks. He eats damage and then dishes it back. 1 point, both men are down. Jacob Fatu, he is in the driver's seat, hitting not 1, but 2 moonsaults. Out come the MFTs, though, in Tama Tonga and JC Mateo, the former Jeff Cobb, and Tonga Loa, as they tried to fend out Jacob Fatu's chances of escape. At one point, trying to get into the steel cage. Out comes Jimmy Uso, though, to play defense, neutralizing Tonga Loa and JC Mateo until Talatoa, that is a name that you got to get used to, folks. Talatonga, the former Hikaleo, he watched him out over the announce table. And we went down there as that momentary distraction almost allowed Sikoa, who looked desperately to try and escape. But Jacob Fatu was having none of it. At one point, though, the Samoan spike actually finally hits, and Sikoa looks like he's about to escape over the top. However, hot pursuit Jacob Fatu brought Solo back in. Up comes the MFTs, though, and we finally see Talatonga handcuff Jacob Fatu to the top of the steel cage. A proverbial screw job as easy as himself. As Sikoa is looking to walk out, Jacob Fatu, good Lord Almighty, I don't want to see this man a lit alleyway. He really is unhinged and unchained, pun intended. As he broke the handcuffs, and we went after Sikoa, where Sikoa was fearing for his life. I don't blame him. Especially the one point where Jacob Fatu says, I'm all gas, no brakes. We're keeping this thing inside the steel cage. At the end of the day, it was a boot to the door to Fatu's face that allowed Solo to slip out like a slime ball and leave still WWE United States Champion. Afterwards, though, Jacob Fatu got a little bit of revenge as Jimmy Uso once again wiped out the MFTs as Talatonga and Sikoa went up the entranceway. Jacob Fatu was isolated with Tonga Loa and Jason Mateo inside the steel cage and wiped both men out with a moonsault. As he stood tall inside the cage, Sikoa sat on his butt on the entranceway, still WWE United States Champion. Meh. JJ, what did you think about this match?
I thought everything was going good, and then it ended.
Yeah.
This match was way too short. The women's IC title match was way too long. You know, Christopher put in the chat that it was 25 minutes, the women's IC match.
Good God.
You could have taken 10 of those minutes and given them to the cage.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason Becky and Lyra needed to be 25 minutes. None. And that's no hate on either woman. I love them both. But that match didn't need to be 25. That was my biggest problem with this match, is the time.
Yeah. You'd think a steel cage match at least is more rage for a longer duration. It was a taxing battle. Nope.
At least Solo didn't walk out the cage to piss off Jay Ventura. He fell out of it.
Yeah, literally. He was trying to escape a cage locked inside with a predator, scared for his life.
Really quickly, I see Jeff in the green room has his hand up, so he'd like to maybe say something about this, Noah.
Absolutely. Let's bring Jeff into the screen and get some thoughts finally from Jeff Meacham. What you guys say, boss man?
Well, just really quick, it's again, having not seen it, it is the WWE Championship match. I'm not commenting on the match with their results or whatever. In either case, for me, the women's Intercontinental title is supposed to be a very workhorse title, and I think that championship has been hindered. I'm not saying anybody's done a bad job with it, but it's very much come off as and these two, Lyra and really needed to go all out. It was going to be with the ender. They had to go long. I'm not saying Steel Cage match didn't deserve the treatment, but based on what I'm hearing and reading, it looks like it did. So 25 may be excessive, but I think anything under 15 would have been too short for the capital. So I can see what they're saying. I'm not just going to take one off. Shake their hands out. We're good with it. But I just want to make sure that the championship, whatever gender you're claiming to, has always been a workhorse championship. And it's felt to me like the side is not felt since its introduction. It's kind of been, oh, you're stuck into this match. What I'm hearing is like, okay. These two are they threw everything under our feet. So good on them for giving the turn. It just sucks that the Wahis hadn't got it at all.
Yeah, it's one of those things where literally during that Intercontinental Championship match, they threw everything but the proverbial kitchen sink. And the steel cage, it kind of felt like they accelerated everything they wanted to do because of how much time was put in. I think you could have cut off maybe 5 minutes, JJ, kind of what Jeff was referring to. Because at the end of the day, Intercontinental Championships are workhorse championships. You work to earn them, you work to keep them. United States title, kind of formality what it's supposed to be at this point when you think about it. If nothing else, an opportunity, because America's supposed to be the land of opportunity, brother. But that being said, I kind of did wish there was a little more came out of the steel cage, but I'm not surprised by the result, but it goes back to what I said earlier. Jigga Fatu is a guy you don't fuck with, even if your name is Solo Sikoa. And Solo learned that the hard way. And something tells me he's going to be watching behind his back because Jigga Fatu is not done with him. That being said, let's go to Walter for further thoughts before we get it to Nick. Walter, what you guys say regarding this steel cage match right now? And to JJ's point also during our call, are we on the verge of war games with Solo Sikoa's MFT and Jigga Fatu and others? Do y'all know what I mean?
Uso and probably Jay. I think that's why they didn't do as much in the steel cage match, just because more is coming in War Games. I feel like that's why it is. But at the same time, I think the position of the card kind of hurt them. I think it was Kitty that said it. Like, if the TLC match and the steel cage match were switched, it might have been a little better in terms of the position. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm with JJ. I was going fine with it, and then it just, like, I like, to put it in context of movies, like, I looked down, reached in my pocket, and looked back up, the movie finished. I was like, what the hell happened? Like, all I did was look down. Like, what the hell? Like, so that's pretty much what it was. So that's the only thing that hurt it. But the match itself was fine. And, I mean, you could have took a little less, to add time, you could have took a little less of the aftermath beatdown and added it to the actual math, I guess.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it happens.
Fair enough. Nick, what do you think about this result and just the absolute guerrilla warfare that Jigga Fatu put the MFTs through?
I agree with what you guys said. It was good, but not great. This is probably the AEW brain in me talking. Matches like a no DQ match, a cage match, I need color. I get it. It's less is more. They did it. I get it. But if you're doing a match like this, or a no DQ, or any furniture match, except for, I guess, the TLC match, that steel is steel. It's not like it's you know what I mean? Like, if you're grating your face against that, I would want to see a little bit of color. So I really think the lack of color in that match didn't do it for me. It's probably because I'm just like, I want color after seeing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The match was okay. Oddly enough, as it stands today, my match of the year is a cage match, which is Will and Kyle. This cage match didn't come nowhere close to that. But all in all, I think I'm ready for the bloodline to end. I want to see Solo Sikoa do something different. I want to see Jacob do something different. Yes, I want color, just not out of people's asses.
Shit.
I again, a match like that, for me, and the way I view it, it needed color. That in the last match. But yeah, I'm over the bloodline. I just keep them far away, please.
The bloodline is forever. It will never die. All right. Fair enough. Again, I still think at the end of the day, we're going to get War Games once again with Souls of Claws MFTs and Gigafatu's infantry. I'm not even sure what you call it. Yes, Jeff, I see your hand, brother. What's up?
Well, a couple of points before I bring in the main one. First of all, yeah, I'm even seeing glad over his ass. I'm good. I'm right with you. I'm good with this. It also shows this NFT how long I've been out of the watching game. I thought it took a long time. So, I don't know. It looks like you're just having trouble hearing me. Is that across the board?
It's just the background noise, and I'm having issues where I am anyway. So I don't know if it's just me or if it's other people as well.
Okay.
It's hard to hear, but
I
it's
wanted to make
the
it.
background.
I typed this out after Saturday's show, and I sent it to Aaron, and I sent it to Greg. That way, if I didn't have a chance to make the point at any other time, it would be recorded that I wrote this down or typed this out, however you want to write it. Process is this. I think War Games should take the bloodline out of it at this point. I think War Games should be Punk's team versus Rollins' team, and that's how you really kick the road to Mania for the two of them in the high gear. You have Punk win the Rumble, which is another milestone for him that he's not yet checked off in the box gimmicks. And then you have them made event match one-on-one. I think that rivalry has earned a wrestling championship match. With all respect to the Rockets, not some other who's whatever. I'm no good at wrong, but I think we need the mentality of War Games to frame the road to the championship match. Now, my thought process would be that the championship match is going to be a heel Cody defending against a true babyface OTC. Not going to happen unless some crazy shit goes down in the next few months. But I still think the road needs to be Roman and Cody in their big blow off rubber. So War Games should be about Punk and Rollins, not necessarily about the bloodline or the Civil War or the motherfucking dominant, whatever.
Yes, JJ, I see your hand. And then I'll go to you, Nick.
I like Jeff's idea. I think there's a lot to digest there and to work with. I think it's the women's War Games match that'll be cut, though, because I do see a Bloodline Civil War one with Jacob, Jimmy, Jay, Roman, and whoever, probably Sammy the Honorary Uce, versus Solo, Tama Tonga, Tongaloa, Hikuleo, and JC Mateo. The women is the one that they always have a hard time booking because it's like, hey, these 10 bitches have issues with each other. 5 of them are faces, 5 are heels. Let's throw them into War Games.
That's accurate, actually.
I like Jeff's idea.
Yeah.
And they both actually make sense.
And selfishly, and I haven't told anybody in the group yet, selfishly, since Dylan and I are blowing the Survivor Series, I'd like to see 2 men working this. I'm okay with that.
Ooh. Well, there you go.
And
we
then,
got a lot of time.
And then you can always do 10 bitches, 5 of which are heels, 5 are faces in a traditional Survivor Series elimination match. Oh my God, what a concept.
I was going to my conceptions. Conceptions? Never mind. I'll move on before I get into 30 minutes.
I'd say just have a traditional Survivor Series match in one of the two rings for the women, just because they don't like each other.
That's right.
All right. Well, fair enough. And
I'll get to that.
well, I mean, I literally compare Seth Rollins and freaking CM Punk to today's Triple H and Randy Orton. They not only will fight forever to one-up one another, but they both can truly be WrestleMania championship caliber main eventers. I think there's a roadmap to WrestleMania 42 here, where CM Punk's already been denied that championship opportunity spot when he got injured that one Royal Rumble. And while it's been teased for Cody and CM Punk to finally tell their story on the grandest stage of them all, Seth and CM Punk makes the most sense because it's been literally the story of this era outside Cody Rhodes finishing his. So I love that, Jeff.
Yes, and they have not touched on that stage. They made it into the big roster premiere, which I guess we thought it was one amazing match. Yeah. But they haven't touched individually on the major stage and match. From my money, it was the stage of the roster.
There you go. And as JD would say, that's fair. All right, well, let's move into our fifth match of the night, as of course we still had so much more to come. We had the WWE Men's Continental Championship, as of course we had Dominic Mysterio versus Phenomenal Styles. Oh, before that, apologies. We also had Meet the Iguana and Cycle Clown in the audience as well. Triple A, of course, they were cross-promoting Triple A Mania, which, of course, will be on WWE's YouTube channel, both in English and in Spanish. And yes, folks, stay tuned. We will be covering here at the Super Reliable Studios. The definition of this match I will give you in 4 words. Lie, cheat, steal. Orale. Because we literally had AJ Styles channel his inner Eddie Guerrero, coming out in a lowrider with his son in bleach blonde hair, might I add, literally 20 years since the custody ladder match with Dominic's father and illegitimate father. And then this match got underway, which was psychological warfare with every Eddie Guerrero mannerism that Eddie Guerrero will be smiling down upon and be proud of. From the boot escape calf crusher finale, but going back to the beginning, we had the 3 amigo attempts, kind of AJ Styles to a nice brain buster. We had the typical, you called it, Walter, chair fake out where Dominic Mysterio hit the chair on the mat behind the referee's back and went down as the turnbuckle was ripped off. But then AJ, he wrapped the chair around his head and just fell on the mat. Referee's like, what the hell happened? What the hell happened here? And then, of course, going on beyond that, classic typical Dominic Mysterio trying to upstage his father. If you notice his gear, it was a nod to what his father wore during that ladder match back in 2005. Again, full circle, nostalgia, all the callbacks here throughout SummerSlam. The tail of the weekend, if we're being perfectly honest here. Anyway, calf crusher applied first. Dominic Mysterio had a limp since that point. What I didn't notice till the replay after the match, that was the moment, JJ. He unlaced his boot. That's why he was constantly hobbling. At one point, though, AJ Styles was looking for a Styles clash. Dominic Mysterio countered. Dominic looking to drop the dime, was unable to. AJ was able to capitalize, was never able to hit the phenomenal forearm. In fact, that was AJ's undoing, as Dominic Mysterio, after AJ Styles, of course, got caught doing his own frog splash. Again, trying to be Eddie Guerrero. You're not Eddie Guerrero, bro, but still, I loved it. End of the day, referee distracted, boot to AJ's face, and a frog splash. Dominic Mysterio lied, cheated, and steal his way to retain the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Straight up, this was fun. I'm not surprised with this result at all, considering how much they are putting on the back of Dominic Mysterio when it comes to being a champion, being a workhorse, and being very much part of this acquisition crossover presentation. I thought this was extremely fun, though, what AJ was doing, playing Eddie Guerrero's game against the son of Rey Mysterio. So I enjoyed this match for what it was. Nick, let's go with you first. What was your thoughts on this?
It was good. AJ putting over a new up-and-coming talent. I mean, Dom is a big deal. It was a good match. It was good. Nothing crazy. Nothing. The boot spot kind of, I was like, but it was all right. I just wanted to circle back just for quick to Jeff's point about the tweet. In that tweet, there's a very big glaring factor. This one. Where is WrestleMania or where is Royal Rumble next year?
Oh yeah,
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia.
You're not having a Rumble in Saudi Arabia, and Sami Zayn ain't winning that, right? So I mean that's a really big hole into that plan. Is if you're doing what Jeff says, where does Sami fit in and everywhere and all of that? And no, I don't want to see another triple threat match for the championship. We had one last year. We don't need it again. Sami needs to have his moment, his one-on-one moment. And again, you don't give it. You're not gonna not give it to him in Saudi. But I digress. This match was all right. It was a good match. It wasn't it wasn't nothing that it made me jump out of my seat saying, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god." But it was a good match. It was fine for what it was.
Okay. Fair enough. Walter, you literally almost played the playbook of the match before the match unfolded. What did you think about all these mannerisms today, Guerrero? You actually were the star here, in my opinion.
I am a huge fan of Eddie Guerrero, huge fan of nostalgia. This is honestly my favorite match of the night because of that. The way they pulled this off. I love that AJ did that. I love that they did the throwbacks. And this is kind of what set the night for what else was coming on. There were so many little throwbacks, from the TLC to this that I just knew what WWE was doing. I'm like, they're doing a hell of a lot of throwbacks from the gear, like you said. It was like a prototype to the SummerSlam gear in 05. Everything they did, I loved it. It was honestly my favorite match of the night.
Yeah, fair enough. And again, Dominik Mysterio is still champion. JJ, what did you think about all this? Again, Dominik Mysterio, he's your boy. You literally called him your WWE Superstar of the Year prior to winning the Intercontinental Championship this year. Now calling himself the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. He did just beat AJ Styles at SummerSlam, where AJ said this could be his last SummerSlam as his career is about to wrap up. And there's a lot already known for the future of Dominik Mysterio, but what happens next for AJ? And what was your thoughts overall about this match?
My biggest thought about this match is I'm sorry that I didn't pick Dominik Mysterio. There was something in my gut that made me think AJ was going to take this and then go to Bound for Glory and do something, over in TNA with the IC title. I don't know, man. I was holding out for hope. Like Bonnie Tyler was holding out for a hero. I was holding out for hope, man. And it just wasn't meant to be.
Well, it is what it is. And again, he's already confronted the AAA Mega Champion, El Hijo del Vikingo. By the way, what the hell was that mask he was wearing? Yes, Walter, I see your hand.
It was fun time between him and Liv, but no.
Walter!
I think that's what's next for AJ, though. I'm telling you, I've been calling it. I called Moose and Oba. They are going to have Leon Slater versus AJ Styles for the X Division title. That's why he didn't win this title. He's not winning the X Division, but look, Leon's already got to go against Amazing Red, one of the pillars of the X Division. Now you go against AJ Styles, another pillar of the X Division. I wish Christopher Daniels wasn't an AEW agent and didn't retire because you could have did that. Like, I really feel like it should be Leon Slater's gimmick to have to prove himself against the old school people of the X Division. You know what? Defend against Frankie Kazarian too. Like all the old Eric Young, all the old TNA people that you still have, you got to make Leon have to prove himself against that before you do any crossover. I know we want the bouncy match. I wanted to. But before you can get onto the new school, you have to prove yourself to all the old school people, earn everybody's respect. Because championship mean a lot. But just as much as the titles mean, respect means a hell of a lot too in the world of professional wrestling. So to earn people's respect, you got to get it from them. Take it from them. And I feel like that's what they should do with the X Division title and Leon. So I really do. I don't know if it's Bound for Glory, but I really do feel like AJ is going to show back up in TNA and get an X Division title shot.
Well, only time will tell regarding that. And again, AJ did say, as far as that one more match, we'll talk about that later. Hindsight, later. How long is later? What we do know is this. Leon Sarah has won self-defense underneath for his reign in triple threat action against the likes of I'm trying to figure out who it was. It was Cedric Alexander, and I'm forgetting the other person. Apologies. Doing so much wrestling. And we also know that Amazing Red, who won a House for Glory. You can go by the way, folks, and check our archives when we cover GCW, House of Glory, GCW, hit them up, and JCW. Shout out to the team for their coverage of JCW, by the way, this morning. We know that Amazing Red will now challenge Leon Slater for the X Division Championship at Bound for Glory. So again, you're talking about challenging the greats of the past. He's definitely on his way up there at the age of 20, be the youngest ever X Division champion in TNA history. But that was TNA. This is WWE. And we're talking about, of course, the WWE Championship, the Workhorse title. I'm curious to see who takes this from Dominic Mysterio. And hey, Judgment Day this weekend, they went 1-1. Is Finn Balor happy about this, or is he still planning? Does Finn Balor still want this title that Dominic Mysterio pinned him at WrestleMania for to win it when he didn't even come in as champion? They both came in as challengers. Is there a bigger game plan in the Judgment Day, despite the fact they lost the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships? There was no Judgment Day screw job this year, but it doesn't mean a screw job isn't coming when you're dealing with the Prince, who rarely ever misses. So, again, some more food for thought to figure about when it comes to Judgment Day, Dom Mysterio, and the Intercontinental title.
No,
Well,
wasn't it Jason Hotch, the other person?
Yes, thank you. It was one of the great hands. I couldn't think of which one. I appreciate that. All right. We had a lot of fun, a lot of great talk, a lot of unique conversation, but I know this next part, we're going to bring all the analysis. I think it's only just before we get there, because it's going to be the last bit of conversation. We're going to take one more commercial break, prepare our minds, prepare our voices, prepare our thoughts towards what could be the aftermath of what was SummerSlam Night 2, knowing what happened during the match, knowing who we said thank you to, and knowing who we reacted to that showed up. When we come back from this commercial break, folks, it's time to discuss the main event of SummerSlam Night 2. Stay tuned.
And now for a taste of things to come.
Attention, Brittany Brooks here.
This is your NWA Women's World Television Champion.
This is the TNA Knockouts World Champion, Masha Slamovich.
Subscribe to Rage of Wrestling on YouTube. Póngase verde.
You better subscribe right now ahora to Rage of Wrestling.
Subscribe to Rage of Wrestling on YouTube.
Everybody, make sure you subscribe to Rage of Wrestling on YouTube and get them to 200 subscribers. Let's go!
And as always, here at Survivor Studios, we not only encourage you to subscribe, but But here we truly encompass, embrace, celebrate, engage, react, criticize, rant, analyze all the wrestling. From MLW to TNA to AAA to GCW to HOG to ROH to ROW to AEW to WWE to NXT and more. And welcome back, everybody, here once again to the Sunday Shenanigans, of course. Special edition. I'm, of course, your host for the evening. Some men know Alfonso with the Renegade Wrestling, JJ Williams, Nick Ferrantes, one half of the Canadian Connection, the Rage of Wrestling, Walter Cruz, and, of course, in the green room, of course, the man himself, Jeff motherfucking Meacham. All right, and, of course, you all along for the ride. Before we get into this, again, subscribe. And also, thank you all for being along with us for the entire time, this entire ride. Not just this weekend, not just tonight, but this whole week across Professional Wrestling Delight. You all make this possible every day, and truly, we thank you. And again, please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. If you want to dictate the conversation, PayPal, the packages, or Super Chats, as simple as that. For you all make it possible, we continue to keep stepping and do this on a daily basis. For it's not about us, it is about the love, the thrill, the joy of professional wrestling. Damn it. All right, we had a lot of discussion, a lot of great moments. Last night, Paul Levesque told us, you think you've seen everything, you ain't seen nothing yet. Let's go ahead and get right down to brass tacks, right into business. Let's talk about SummerSlam, Night 2, SummerSlam, Sunday nights. Main event. It was, of course, for the undisputed WWE Undisputed Championship. I'm so used to that U word, I swear. The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes versus the real John Cena. Of course, Cody Rhodes echoing the words of his father, Dusty Rhodes, rest in peace, brother. As, of course, he came out, of course, once again to become the captain, to reclaim his kingdom, to reclaim his seat on the throne. And, of course, we had the entire Sing Out of Kingdom, which, again, who doesn't love that song? Then we go to John Cena, all black, simple white font, typical John Cena. Nope. Real John Cena, full on red, white, and blue, color galore. The real John Cena was back, even nodded to Stu. Let's go to work. And this field was set. The mood was created. The bell rung. The fight begun. And this was a fight. Subtle nod. Two icons of this business, the then and the now, Hulk Hogan and The Rock, went face off at WrestleMania. Suddenly looked at the crowd, set the pace and the mood, and then it was on. It started early going, of course, I expected, very physical. Both men coming to blows, both men jogging for a position, and then things really escalated when we finally got down to brass tacks, and we realized we're not wrestling, we're in a fight. John Cena looked like he was having the time of his life, though, throughout this. As Cody Rhodes, of course, was demonstrating he was the better wrestler, getting the better of John Cena in the early going. Nice power slam, takedown. And to JJ's point during the call, there were some early near falls just to get into their opponent's head, respectfully, by both men. As things escalated, though, and we got much more physical, both men came to chairs on guard. We had a chair duel. Neither one of them got the better of that in the end, except for Cody, who pushed the chair away from John Cena and used it to his advantage. We escalated from there into what became a fight amongst the crowd after a couple of near falls, if you want to call it that, after both men already hit a AAA and a Cody cutter, and we both knew that was not going to be, the tail of the table was not going to be over. We eventually went into the audience where they fought amongst the WWE Universe, all the way to the side of the stage, trash can included, and a guardrail buckled on John Cena's spine. Good Lord, John Cena's been for enough wear and tear his career, I'm just saying. Anyway, as they literally get an idea of how tall the stage is versus the men, it looked like action figures or ants, being honest. Eventually, they went underneath the stage. We had no freaking idea what was happening until, to your point, whichever one of you said it, trapdoor on the stage that Cody rode through, out of the smoke came out John Cena with Cody Rhodes on his shoulder, all 220 pounds of him, dead weight, as he went all the way to the top of the stage and lunged him off with a AAA and a thud down the entranceway. And both men were extremely exhausted at this point. Eventually, John Cena did hoist Cody Rhodes back to the ring, land him just inside on the apron. And Cody played possum and then hit John Cena with another emphatic crossroads to get the better of him at this point in the match. At this point, though, Cody Rhodes, fire in his adrenaline in his soul, he went in for the kill. Not one, not two, but the trifecta, the hat trick of crossroads. It was not over, unlike Roman Reigns. So who truly is weak? You tell me. As John Cena, again, you can't beat Superman, survived that. Following that, John Cena got back into the fray. And of course, we saw John Cena unleash his coup de grace, the Avalanche AA, from the top rope. After already getting the better of Cody Rhodes, following that, Cody kicked out. The match continued to escalate. A key point here is when the WWE Championship came into play and Cody Rhodes, with the smoking gun in hand, unlike WrestleMania, this time he decided to use it. Not once, but twice. And it still wasn't enough as John Cena continued to fight back. At one point, both men were trying to position between the STF as John Cena put the towel to the wayside with a smile. And Friday had Cody dead to rights. Shout out to one of the damnedest fights in John Cena's career to Umaga when Cody Rhodes took the ring rope and made sure John Cena truly showed he never gave up, but he wanted to stay down because that was his hero. 3 blunt shots to the head with the steel turnbuckle and trying to compare to John Cena with the ring rope still wasn't enough. As John Cena turned Cody into his Umaga and tried to choke the life out of him. But Cody was able to once again wheel forward, fight back, and prevent that grip from happening. Both men embraced in Greco-Roman knuckle lock combat with the ring rope in between them, and Cody was getting the better of that. Till John Cena hit another AA, went in for the kill. It still wasn't enough. The key point here, though, is when John Cena was driven face first through a table out of the corner of an attempted Avalanche AA that Cody turned into an Avalanche. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that, folks. That went down the wrong pipe. I'm turning into the freaking Secretary of Monsters, Inc. Hello, boys.
Mike Wazowski.
3 years of doing this regime, and you think I would know when to shut my mouth eventually. Anyway, moving on. As Cody Rhodes dropped John Cena face first through that table in the ring with an Avalanche Bulldog. This was after, by the way, John Cena did an AA for the Spanish announce table to Cody Rhodes. No table was left unbroken in this night. Just saying. After that, Cody saw Cena somehow still had life in himself. Looking at the man he once called his hero turned into his greatest villain. Once again became real to him. And he saluted him off to a warrior's death. One last emphatic crossroads. 1, 2, 3. Cody Rhodes wins and is once again the new WWE Undisputed Champion. And the captain once again reclaimed his seat. As both men came into an embrace, John Cena looked at the title. Remember what he said on SmackDown. He was fearing the fans would forget him. Tonight, I think we would do anything but that. As he passed the title off to Cody Rhodes, and to Walter's point, wrapped it around him, and both men embraced. The leader of the generation then endorses the leader of the generation now and to come, as Cody Rhodes is once again undisputed WWE champion. And he leaves John Cena the ring, as everyone simply says, "Thank you, Cena," standing ovation. Before we move on beyond that, let's focus strictly on this match, this conclusion to this story, not a trilogy, clearly. JJ, I will start with you. What did you think of this insanely emotional roller coaster that was the street fight with John Cena and Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE title?
Emotional roller coaster is a perfect way to describe this. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. I And I'm waiting to see Emmanuel's comments in the chat room because I know how pissed he is. Well, he's going to be happy that Cena lost, but he's going to be pissed that Cena's back being a babyface and going to get all that adulation, or so we think. We still have to see if Walter's game plan begins to pan out tomorrow on Raw, and I'll let Walter go into more into depth on that. Don't want to steal his,
Thunder.
his idea.
That's fair. Continue.
But this match was everything it needed to be. And I honestly feel that's the best way to describe it. It was hard hitting. It was emotional. It was back and forth. No one had a real clear advantage for a good chunk of the match. It was very, very even Stevens. And I don't know yet if I can honestly say the right person won. That's the key. That's the thing yet, is I need to see how things progress over the next weeks to see if I can say the right person won. Because thankfully, on the one hand, Cena no longer has the title, so that what we're going to get to in the second half of this, Cena can't lose it there.
Correct.
But Cody, is Cody going to end up going heel, going Homelander like everyone wants? Is Cody going to be gone for a while filming Street Fighter? And now we're going to end up with another Roman Reigns champion. Where he's champion, but he's not there. That's the key. So I'm curious to see the story progression here. For the first time in a long time, I'm looking forward to what happens on Raw.
All right, then. Thank you very much for that, JJ. Walter, let's go to you next. As JJ said, didn't want to steal your thunder as he brings the lightning. So go ahead and complete this storm before we give it to Nick, who might clear the ways. Walter, what did you think about this match and John Cena losing the Undisputed WWE Championship?
It was the one match I got wrong. I think JJ was right about what he said. It was everything it needed to be and more. Emotional roller coaster is kind of an understatement, man. We all were on the edge of the seat. At first, I was anxious. I was cracking up because fucking JJ's stealing my shtick with the freaking puns, and this is how it feels now. Now I get it, how it feels when the shoe's on the other foot.
And here I am, the straight guy.
Right? I was hoping he broke you. I was like, he got me, but I was like, come on, no, we're laughing at one of these damn puns. The sheer, it was violent, but out being GCW too goddamn violent. So it was good. But damn it, yeah, that and what it like. It was almost to the point like, when are they going to finish? Like, what the hell does it take? Like, at some point, I thought of some crazy shit was gonna happen, like when the Hardys had to win, a freaking ladder comes out of nowhere, that chain ladder, just something so different, because I was like, what the hell is it gonna take? But at the end, Cody with the final salute did the thing through the table and then did the crossroads. So it took multiple things. It's Super Cena versus Super Cody, because they both just kept kicking out of goddamn everything that you can throw at them, and I loved it. Now it's just the end of it. Based on the end, is it the end of it, or like, could my theory be true? Could Cena have a lawyer and say, "Hey, this contract is null and void. I signed it unconscious. You have to give the title back," and that can make Cody that first domino fall if we want the heel Cody. But based on what happened after, who knows what they're thinking. And I want to know, at what point did they pivot? Like, that's what I would like to know, because it feels like a pivot, because, man, the heel turn kind of after The Rock was never involved. We all saw, like, we saw the light at the end of the tunnel, and I feel like they were just like, let's erase everything that we've done and restart. That's what I feel like they did tonight. Let's just screw what happened at the chamber, screw everything. We're gonna reset it, and I feel like they made that decision on Friday or something, and they just went all reset. But we'll see. I'm looking forward to it, and like JJ said, every Monday I feel like it's out of tradition. You just watch Raw. Tomorrow, I'm really looking forward to actually turning on Netflix and see what the hell's going on.
I've got to say also, by the way, to your
Or
point,
do we have to
it
wait
was
till
like,
Friday?
well, it really depends on your timing and your services. But I will say this before I give it to Nick. I would argue that was one of John Cena's most heartfelt battles in his entire career. Again, you talk about Super Cena, Big Match John. You talk about Battle of the Titans of this generation. Icons of this business. By the way, shout out to Stephanie McMahon, apparently a WWE icon. She also gave the attendance record. Congratulations to the universe, over 116,000, I think, something like that. The numbers. But anyway, when was the last time John Cena did a fucking picture perfect code red on the floor, by the way? Shout out, by the way, to Kevin Owens with the pile driver spot trying to break John Cena's neck. All the stops, all the rivals, all the friends of Cody Rhodes and John Cena's past also came into play here. And again, I gotta understand that. It was absolutely nothing futz insane, to say the least. So that being said, Nick, let's get your thoughts towards just the match. Just the match and Cody Rhodes reclaiming the championship. What did you think of this?
I can't sit here and say it was a great match. I'd be lying if I did. I think it was a good match. Do I think it went on a little bit? Do I think it went a little bit too long? Yes, I do. Because at some points I can feel myself kind of like being distracted.
It's fair.
Yeah. It was a good match. You saw Cena lay it all out there. To Walter's point, this, I think, with this, they have officially admitted that the Cena heel turn was absolute dog shit. I mean, I think they admitted it on Friday when he turned around and all of a sudden it was a babyface. It was like, I thank you, hugging and kissing babies on Friday. I saw the reaction that you guys when John Cena's music first hit and it was all black and just his name, and then all the color and everything came out. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. But again, I think this is them admitting that they admitted it on Friday, but tonight more than ever, with the way the match went and what we saw after, I think they admitted that the Cena heel turn was absolute dog shit. And the biggest thing is, where do we go from here?
Mm-hmm.
I say it every other space, every other stream. Natural progression. After this, what's the natural progression of the title picture? Like, Cody won it, but where does Cody? Who's that next real heel to give Cody that hard time? For example, when I and I'm going to use this comparison again. When I look at the AEW world title picture, me and the way I view things, I can see it, and I can see kind of where they're going with this. Maybe it's because I don't watch the weekly product that I can't, but I can't see that natural progression of who's the next guy to take it from Cody. Unlike the World Heavyweight Championship, where from Seth Rollins, it's gotta go to Sammy. You know what I mean? Like, there's that already. You see it. You can see it 3 steps ahead. They've laid it out that way. For Cody's championship, I'm not sure. But again, the match was okay and set up, whether you like it or not, what happens after.
All right, fair enough. I will say that. First off, Jeff, welcome back. Perfect. So I'm going to go right to you. I will say this. There is one name that comes to mind based on Saturday for Cody, and there's also tumultuous history there. Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is a man that hasn't faced Cody Rhodes yet while he was champion. And let's not forget, when Cody was confronted by Drew and Orton, after he lost the title, it was Orton that dropped him with an RKO, and Drew, of course, got the win last night. Him and Logan Paul over Randy Orton and Jelly Roll. And by the way, shout out to Jelly Roll again. Hell of a bump that man took. Mad respect, damn it. As, of course, he was there in the Ice Night taking the ending festivities. But it is one of those things right now where SummerSlam has set up, in my opinion, an absolutely unknown reset and direction for the fall season. And honestly, I'm kind of glad to see that. But I do understand where you're coming from, where what you think next doesn't look clear for everything, or what you think may not look clear for one half is more clear than the other. So,
and again, that's probably because I don't. And again, that's probably because I don't watch the weekly product.
Mhm.
Maybe that's why I can't see it. But it's hard to counteract that. I can see it with Sammy. I can see where they're going, where that story is leading. I can see that that Sammy is the next guy to take the World Heavyweight Championship off of Seth. With Cody, it's you were just mentioning Drew. Now, is that Drew's?
True.
Does he take the title off of Cody? But with that being said, are you giving Cody a 1 month reign for his second reign? You're giving him a 2.
No.
But
No,
that's
no.
what I mean. Where's the end goal now for this second run?
That's fair. That's fair. But also, I'm just going to echo that. We do not have a DeLorean that can move forward or backwards in time. As JJ says, make it a
Jeff
shirt.
knows somebody that does have a DeLorean, though.
That's fair.
God damn it, Jeff.
Trust.
I mean,
process. And you do bring up a good knob of Randy Orton, considering Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes, of course, the King of the Ring tournament finals, whether or not that encompass their legacy, that remains to be seen. And as far as that's a whole different conversation. We'll talk more about that later. I also want to put out one more thing regarding the John Cena heel run. You were very key in noticing John Cena's mannerisms following that match at Backlash, looking down at the title and saying prior to myself, is it really worth it? Why John Cena said, Cody, you gave me the wake-up call 2 weeks ago on SmackDown when you blasted me through that table and forced me into a fight. The same type of fight I've been fighting my whole life here in WWE. So I do mean there was a subtle foreshadowing that Cena himself didn't want to buy into the heel turn fully. And we saw that encompass, I think, tonight at SummerSlam Sunday. Now, I know we had a lot more thoughts regarding John Cena's psychology on taking us on this ride to this story for Cody Rhodes to once again find victory and maybe a closing proper sense with his hero to be the captain of this next generation. But let's go down regarding this match, regarding the GOAT, the 17-time world champion, to a man that could definitely bring the emotion and the outlook into it. Jeff, I am so damn glad you have come here now at a stable environment. It's all on you, man. Perfect time. Talk about this match. Talk about John Cena's heel run, change to the real Cena dynamic, and Cody Rhodes once again becoming the captain of WWE, becoming a two-time WWE champion. What did you think about this climax with these two men?
Can't hear you, Jeff.
Well, sorry, real quick, as Jeff fixes his stuff.
Hold on, we'll be right back. Jeff's having technical difficulties. We'll be right back.
Damn it, Noah.
That's better, yeah?
There we
go.
Okay. What happened was, what I was trying to say was, JJ, if anybody sees me collapse on the air, you know where I live. Send help. Toss him. Freaking dead me.
I actually know somebody that's a lot closer to you. I'll send them because they'll be able to get to you before I do.
I live in Canada. I can't come get you, buddy.
I said send help. I didn't say come help. I said send help.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
okay.
There's a difference, guys. We can all send help. Anyway, Jeff, please continue. The floor is yours. Talk about this match.
Okay. So.
Just the match, not the after part.
Right.
We're going to start with you for the after part. We're going to go in the reverse order for that.
Okay, good. Because if I keep coughing anymore, I'm gonna kill myself at this point. Okay. The funny thing about this match is hearing everybody's comments about the way they were reacting in the moment. I was on for JJ will understand the distance reference. I was on the bus on my way from the Topanga Canyon Mall to North Hollywood to catch the bus to come home. I think the final pinfall went down before I got off the Orange Line bus and Brock's music hit. We'll talk about that in a second. As far as the match, I was already on a vehicle in motion as it was, so the emotion roller coaster was definitely a little harder hitting on me because I was literally on the move. It definitely gave me the Rock Hogan vibes, absolutely. And I don't know if you guys saw in the green room when Noah said that I teared up immensely because I was just rewatching some Hulk stuff this weekend. Still not quite 100% on that one. Just probably not going to be for a while.
That's fair.
Yeah. Oh hell! Nor am I 100% this damn cough.
I hear you.
The match was so good. I don't know if it was one of the greatest in history. Like I'm seeing a lot online. Like I know Aaron posted something pretty definitive. I was like, oh, okay. I'll have to rewatch that now that I am able to be home and no distractions and not having to worry about when I'm catching a transfer or whatever. It's like I can just focus on the television along with the whole show. That'll be the task tomorrow. But the match itself did everything for me as a friend of John Cena, as an acquaintance of Cody Rhodes, as a fan of WWE that I needed. I would be lying if I said the heel run didn't turn out to be a disappointment. Not just for me. Um, kind of makes it off the back and go, maybe the old man was right. Don't like saying that very much out loud these days. But maybe the old man was right to not pull that trigger. I don't know. Had he pulled it when he wanted it pulled, we're looking at a whole new, completely different world here. So who knows? But yeah, I not out of disrespect to you, but I have to begrudgingly agree with Mick that this is an admittance that they played the wrong hand back on March 1st. So my birthday gift is completely wasted. So thanks, John. I appreciate it, but is what it is. But the payoff match almost redeemed it because it was so good. Is it the greatest match of all time? No. Is it the greatest SummerSlam match of all time? Definitely not. Is it John's best match of this run? Yeah. Is it one of Cody's better matches in a while? Yeah. Time will tell where it measures up to history. But recency bias is a son of a bitch.
Ain't that the truth?
So I'm not going to say it now. But I enjoyed it as a fan. Trying to take my personal bias with both of them out of the equation is never easy. I very rarely pull it off. This one was particularly hard. But having to watch it the way I watched it, trying to keep the iPad, steady while I was trying to watch my bus route, I was able to focus more on the match and less on my friend's well-being. A couple of those spots were rough. I'm not gonna lie. The code red was. I was like, why would you do that? And you're like, well, why? What are we doing?
It was picture perfect though, Jeff. To be fair though,
it was, but it's just God. The code red is one of those moves that just can go wrong so many ways, so easily.
Mm-hmm.
And by John's own admittance, he's not John Cena 2002. Deadlifting Cody Rhodes to the ring, I think, was just John being John and being a goober. It's like Toby Keith. I ain't as strong as I once was, but I'm as strong once as I ever was. Damn it, it's a 220, whatever Cody is, 220, 230, just, for lack of a better term, stack of shit. The whole way down that ramp.
Just dead weight. Just a big old dead weight.
No reason to do that except just to be John McGoober. Just like, yeah, that's right, I got this. What, bitches? What? Oh, put it
He had
down.
to show up for the fans, Jeff. He had to show up for the fans.
I know. But bottom line, so we can get to the aftermath. I love it.
Well, there you go. All right. Well, I think everyone got their thoughts in on the match. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about what happened post bell, shall we? JJ! You son of a bitch. Oh no.
Subscribe.
Subscribe.
You dickhead. Do I need to say
Subscribe.
anything? You know what?
Subscribe.
Jeff, why don't you go ahead and just give your thoughts right now and bring people in towards what? Wait a minute, hold on.
Before you give it to Jeff,
What?
and I will definitely let him speak first and wax philosophical and all that because I know he has some ish to say.
Oh, I bet.
But we have to acknowledge the fact that I referenced Jeff and how he was going to be having 2014 PTSD flashbacks once the music hit.
Oh, you mean the dun, 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 dun.
Because God damn it, here comes the pain.
And that being said,
2014 PTSD, 2021 after the match with Roman PTSD. Can we just fucking not with Brock Lesnar and John Cena at SummerSlam? Can we fucking not?
Here we go.
Jeff, what did you
And
think
let me just say, this is the only time we're going to bring Brock up on a Shenanigans until more has to be brought up about Brock. Because our good buddy Jay Hebert, James, is not happy.
No.
He's tweeted about it. His tweet says that that's all he's going to say about Brock.
Okay, good for him.
So Ash is avoiding the spaces for the foreseeable future because she knows the spaces are going to be ablaze off of this.
Mm-hmm.
I just left a group chat because people were talking shit about James.
Oh, jeez.
No.
Okay.
So, Jeff, go ahead and take it away, but I just want our fans to know this is the only time Brock is going to be addressed unless something further comes up that requires addressing for Brock. The floor is yours, Jeff.
Thank you, JJ. Jeff, please go ahead.
In that case, all right. Look. Even getting away from the obvious Adam's apple bobbing, old man strutting elephant in the room about this, because it's bad. It's a glaring, giant, damn near extinct elephant. Okay, it's bad. Bad. It's bad. It's a bad look. Okay. I don't disagree with Brock being on the farewell tour. I don't. It was on commentary. Brock Lesnar has been one of John's one of the perennial, one of the most constant rivals. They were destined to meet before Brock Lesnar took his football and went home in 2004. That was supposed to be what we were going to get, maybe a year from then, maybe 2 years from then at a WrestleMania. And Brock came back and he did this thing. And he bludgeoned John pretty significantly. And then they waited a couple years, and then they went to 2014, and we don't talk about that unless I have my therapist present. I'm not kidding. I can't do that match without a therapist anymore. I've tried. It's awful. It's awful. Having sat through that in person, it's I can't. And but I can't pulling myself back. And with Brock, it's really hard with John. But pulling myself back, it's almost like if you're going to have a band play the greatest hits of the farewell tour, you've got to have him in there. You know, Punk, Orton. You know, the thing with Cody now is not a greatest hit. It's a modern classic. Brock's got to be in there too, and it sucks, and I hate it. With great vim and vigor, I fucking hate it. And I think that it is best served for either Paris or Perth between now and Survivor Series. Paris and Perth.
Yeah, crown jewel.
Crown jewel.
Okay. I it should be one of those because those are the marquee, you know, the marquee on the match, you know, type settings. And if I'm being personally selfish, I don't want Brock Lesnar in Survivor Series. I don't want him there. I don't want to have my son within 100 feet of him, let alone however many yards. Nope. Keep that big fucker away from me. Nope. I'm not gonna like it, but I understand it. At least it was one F5 like it was in 2021. Oh no, I'm sorry, getting 2 in 2021.
Yeah.
He's getting slow in his old age. Please don't eat me, Brock. But at least it was just one and done. Walked away. I am curious for Raw. I try to watch Raw at 5:00 if I can, so I'll watch tomorrow if I'm here. I'll definitely be watching WWE TV this week. I'm off the days WWE runs TV this week, so at least I'll have the opportunity. But I am cautiously curious about Brock Lesnar's return, but I don't like it.
I think
so. I'm sorry to rush off and do that, but I'm giving the highest sign by the warden.
Oh dear.
So I need to go. Thank you for letting me be part of this. As always, I know I was kind of sporadic and jumpy, and my voice sounds like shit, and my throat sounds like worse. I want to thank my buddy Ariel Belvalere for an amazing first show back here in SoCal. She did 260 dates in New York on Broadway, and now she's out here playing at the Topanga Mall because she's that much of a show junkie. So love that girl.
Nice.
There will be an interview one-on-one with Jeff Meacham with Ariel Belvalere between now and the end of the month. That has been everything but chiseled in stone. It's definitely sharpied in. We just got to get the chisel out. Because that girl and her album that's coming out at the end of the month deserves all the flowers, all the recognition, all the promotion, and I will plug the fuck out of that CD, album,
as
CD,
you should.
all the things.
All the things.
Other than that, the No DQ Review Tuesday shall be interesting because I'll have a chance to watch the whole show and get a full screen of that overgrown cowboy hat and that leather vest. Just gave my niece and I a jump scare last time we saw his big, dumb, goofy ass. So tune in Tuesday if you dare.
Yep. And follow Jeff Meacham on social medias, folks.
Yes, Kathy Kelly, everybody's favorite investigative journalist. With all respect to Jackie Redmond, who's a hockey fan. I love me some Jackie Redmond. But yeah, Kathy Kelly is definitely at the top of that little laminated 5 passes list they talk about on Friends. Great Googling movie. I love that girl. But yeah, follow me on the socials. Find me at Disneyland or the other Disney experiences. No DQ Review. Shenanigans when I can. And of course, January 4th, the relaunch officially of the Jeff Meacham Network. Stay tuned for that, folks. Thank you all very much. Appreciate you. Love you all. Good, Nick. Always good to see you. Always good to see you around more often, brother. It's cool to have you involved in the Shenanigans. And I worry for your sanity being around the rest of us goons, but more power to you.
Oh, buddy. If you only know the things that me and the missus have plans for the Shenanigans.
You and the missus on the Shenanigans? We're still going to be on YouTube, right? On OnlyFans? We're good?
I cannot.
All I got to say is if this man and his mentality can deal with the spaces during the week, he can deal with our crazy asses.
This is valid, and dealing with the spaces, those of you that do, you are braver souls than me, and that's saying something. I have no soul to begin with.
Jeff, all I can say, buddy, is this weekend or this week will be worse than what it was with Hulk Hogan. And I will leave it. And I will leave it at that.
Thank you. Oh, okay, no problem. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not going to the spaces. Fuck that shit.
Don't do it. Don't do it, buddy. It's not worth it. Nope. But hopefully,
I'm trying very hard to embrace the teachings of the Foster and just fuck off the twits. Both
hopefully,
Candy Bar and Twitter.
yeah. Hopefully, if you guys do a sports space or a sports live, I'm there. I would love to talk hockey with you guys.
Sports space may be coming when the Great Cherry brand launches, but we'll see how much he's tolerant of the twits at that point. Because right now, Twitter is seriously leaning more down that road of go fuck yourself.
Twitter's bad right now. Anyway,
dear.
Twitter's bad right now.
Oh dear.
Twitter is ablaze right now.
As it should be. So here we go.
No, it's bad right now.
No, then you can find me on Instagram and Facebook tonight, kids. Bye.
Bye, Jeff.
Bye, Jeff. Love you, brother.
Twitter is the equivalent of the Heath Ledger Joker right now.
Oh, dear Lord.
Here we go.
Oh,
it's
you got
bad right
Seth Rollins walking down the rings, walking down the steps as goofy as he can in the freaking suit. All right. Well, that being said, okay. Well, there was a lot to digest there. Let's keep the conversation going as we get towards the end. Although, damn you and that freaking thumbnail cap.
I only did it because you asked about it. When you asked if I had done it, I hadn't done it. I legit had 100% no. I'm not fucking with you. When you asked about it, I had not done it yet. I did it once we came on the air here, just so that I could do that to fuck with you because you were so sure I had done it, and I actually hadn't.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Before I give it to Nick, everybody, I'm going to give you 5 seconds to bring out your weirdness. Type a meme for this now. You have 5 seconds. Go. Oh,
We're both hitting it at the same time.
I'll click it.
Okay.
On my count,
Click
folks,
it.
you have 5 seconds to create a meme based on what this means. Ready? 1, 2, beep. You have 5 seconds. Go. 5.
Honey,
4,
create a meme from that picture.
3, 2.
Something in your head.
1. Okay, that's the last time anyone's going to see that picture again. All right.
No, it's not. It's not the last time because we've got a show graphic out of it.
Nick, your
In fact, I'm going to send that to Aaron for him to use on the review this week.
Oh. I'm still bringing out my simple desk. I got to stay clean and simple. Nick, your thoughts on the aftermath of SummerSlam Night 1 and Brock Lesnar's return. Oh, my gosh.
I want to preface this by saying these views that I'm about to give you have anything to do with you boys. I hope nobody gets offended with what I'm about to say. This is my own thoughts, my personal views, nobody else's. Okay. If we're looking at it from optics, personally, I don't care about the Janelle Grant lawsuit because it doesn't. I have no bone in that fight. It's not something that I have looked up, not something that I reference. What happened to her was terrible, and I feel for her. It's just something that I don't really, it's not anything that I care about. With that being said, if we're looking at it as just a talent perspective, it makes sense. Like they said, Brock is one of his greatest rivals in a way. But we don't need Brock in 2025. Nobody's clamoring for a Brock versus Cena match. I don't care to see him on my television. He does nothing for me. I know how the match goes. Spear F5.
Suplex
F5. it's not going to be any. They're not going out there and having a 20-minute classic. So if you're expecting Cena and Lesnar to go out there and have a 25-minute fucking off the wall match, you're kidding to yourself. I respect the opinions of some of our friends who have said they don't want to talk about it because this optically, I understand the point of innocent until proven guilty. I believe in that. He was proven to be not innocent. He was named in a lot of disgusting things in that thing. So I get and I respect other people's views on it. I get that some people are not going to want to watch this product because they did that. That was, and rightfully so, a lot of people I think are very turned off by this. JJ alluded to it before. Our lovely friend Ash has said, don't even bother me with this bullshit with the spaces. James has already came out and tweeted that he's pissed. Pissed is it doesn't even touch it. JJ yourself has left already a group, like you said. This is very bad optics. But the question you have to ask yourself, and you have to be truthful, does WWE give two shits about what they say on Twitter or in the dirt sheets? Because I guarantee you, they're still going to sell out Clash in Paris. They're still selling out Monday Night Raw. They're still going to sell out Friday Night SmackDown. Their ticket sales are still coming in no matter what. So they can bring in whoever. And I think Dattila said it in the chat. John Cena wanted it. They're going to make it happen. So, if you're on Twitter this week, I would definitely stay away because, like I said when Jeff was on, from looking at it now when I was scrolling through it, this might end up worse than Hulk Hogan on the spaces and on Twitter. So for your mental health, if you don't feel like you can be on a space like that or on that app, I would definitely take some time to stay away.
Well said.
Yeah.
Oh boy. JJ, what do you think about this moment we got, the situations that are to follow for John Cena? And again, he still has I think 15 days left in the proverbial last time is now run. And even if this is the case of John Cena's own accord, again, we don't work for the company. We don't work for the courts. We don't even work for the dirt sheets. Thank Christ. But the jury is out. This is definitively now. We have brought Lesnar and John Cena in WWE at the same time. Maybe one last time. What are your thoughts regarding all of this?
At the end of the day, it's a business. It's a business decision. We don't have to like it. We don't have to hate it. But we're not the ones running the business.
No.
Nick said nobody is clamoring for this match. I argue you that there's one person, and that's John Cena. And if John Cena wants to wrestle Brock Lesnar on his retirement tour, John Cena should get to wrestle Brock Lesnar on his retirement tour. Because their careers have been so intertwined.
They go all the way back before WWE, back to Ohio Valley Wrestling. You said yourself, original class.
They were part of that class of 02. And you think about Cena's greatest rivals, and we've seen Orton, we've seen Punk. Unless he gets released from Guantanamo Bay immediately when his contract expires and he's not held on to injury time, we don't get Edge. Brock is really the only other major rival still going that Cena can have. Taker's retired. Triple H can't wrestle because of his pacemaker. Shawn is retired. Eddie's dead.
Batista's retired.
Angle's retired. Batista's retired.
Mm-hmm.
Batista might be able to do one more match if he wanted to, but he doesn't even look like Batista anymore.
He really doesn't. He's slimmed down.
So it would just be weird. So the bottom line is if John Felix Anthony Cena wants to fight Brock Lesnar one more time, let him have it. The question becomes, does Brock Lesnar continue coming around once he's had the match?
Mm-hmm.
Or does he go back to his farm life with Sable and never be seen again? Because at the end of the day, again, it's business, but Brock Lesnar has not been found guilty of anything yet. And while the court of public opinion is worse than the court of law,
mm-hmm.
we need to get back to innocent until proven guilty. Yes, he was named in the lawsuit. It's been a long time since I've read his lawsuit, the lawsuit that Janelle Grant filed. But if I remember correctly, all he's really guilty of is receiving nude images via text message. Doesn't say that he asked for them. They were sent to him to try to get him to resign. So if that's all he's guilty of, not to try to make light of things, but so the fuck what? With the exception of probably Noah here, I think we've all received nudes sent via text of the opposite gender before. Is it really a crime? As long as it's not an underage person? No, it's not. He's not charged of doing any of the stuff that Vince is. And again, it's been a while. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe I'm forgetting some things. But if that's all he's supposedly guilty of, that's not a big thing. And I understand why people are distraught over this, why people don't like this. I'm not fully sold on it myself because of the lawsuit still impending. But as long as it's just for the one match and a couple appearances to set up the match, let him and Cena have it.
Sorry, JJ, if I may. And I think another reason why people are so up in arms too is because Triple H canceled all the pressers from here on out. There will be no more post-show press conferences. So I think a lot of people are also saying that, oh, so you did that because you knew this, you know what I mean? And not wanting to answer questions about it. So I think that's another reason why people are up in arms.
Maybe, but I mean, it's a smart way to avoid it because let's be honest, some of the people that get a microphone at the press conferences don't exactly ask the most intelligent questions. I'm not a hater of some of the people, but being asked on the stand what your Waffle House order is, it's like, seriously, why are you in the press conference? You're taking up time to ask about a Waffle House order, to ask if people listen to Katy Perry. That's not what you should be in there for.
Yeah.
People like us who would actually like to get into a press conference and try to ask intelligent questions so we can build and expand our brand don't get those type of opportunities. But people get in there and ask about Waffle House orders.
Make life a serious situation.
Now, I'm going to read James's tweet just because I know he's not going to discuss this. He's not here, obviously. And it's part of the reason why we're not going to discuss this any further until something comes up from Brock that needs to be discussed.
Go ahead.
So from James's X account at jhebertside95.
And you quote,
I'm sorry, but respectfully, fuck Brock Lesnar. I know I'm not bringing it up tomorrow on TISM or joining in any discussion related to the man. I don't tune into this company because of bullshit like this. I'm over it, man. That's all you're getting as far as my thoughts on Brock. And then he quote tweeted that and said, how I'm choosing to handle this piece of shit going forward. Now I'm done. And he attached an image that said, silence speaks volumes after this. And that is the statement of James Hebert.
protect your mentality.
And I just want to point out too, if there are people that are like James who are disgruntled, going on Twitter,
you're right.
Going on Twitter and voicing your opinion is good, but you got to hit the company where it hurts. We can stop buying merch, stop buying tickets. Like I said, their ticket sales, regardless of if we like this decision or not, their ticket sales are still going up. People are they're still selling out Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, a PLE. If you have such, they're still going to sign up for Netflix. If you feel very strongly about this, hit them where it hurts, and that's the dollars.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
WWE just released 3 Brock Lesnar t-shirts. If you have such an issue with this, then I should not see it as a top-selling item on WWE Shop. Because you're so opposed to this. If you're so opposed to this, whatever PLE gets this match, nobody should be at. Because you guys are so opposed to this.
Yeah.
It should be Thunderdome era. It should be empty.
Well, one thing's for sure. Whether you file lawsuits, whether you file WWE, whether you recognize the names Brock Lesnar, Paul Levesque, John Cena, whether you just saw them for the first time, heard about them for the first time, whether you're 19, 25, 49, 85, or just coming into puberty down the line, it's definitely going to convey a different message across the entire professional wrestling landscape and honestly entertainment ecosystem. Whether or not it's good or bad is up to us to decide. At the end of the day, WWE is all about the almighty dollar, and John Cena is getting what he deserves during his final proverbial hours. Whether you agree with it or not is entirely up to you. The only way change happens is if you make it happen. Simple as that. Well, that being said, that covers SummerSlam Sunday and SummerSlam as a whole. So I think before we finally bid this weekend farewell and give our fine adieu, let's give a final take for night 2 and SummerSlam overall. JJ, I will start with you. It was a pleasure to have you on the call tonight for the conclusion of this SummerSlam. Honestly, I do feel like we had a red herring considering next year's SummerSlam is also in Minneapolis. So maybe this was longer planned than we thought. That's a whole different conversation. But just looking at tonight versus the whole show, and you can wrap it up in a bow. What did you think about Sunday and this entire weekend overall, WWE SummerSlam 2025?
Aside from pretty much tanking in predictions, I thought that it was a good show. I thought the matches were everything they needed to be. I feel that SummerSlam 25 exceeded expectations. It was a good event from start to finish. And I'm very, very happy with how pretty much everything turned out.
Nick, you're definitely one of those fans that I'd love to get your analysis on. You do a lot of compare and contrast. I don't even believe in that quality stuff, but everyone, like Ash so eloquently preached, wrestling is a buffet. It is what you indulge, is what you try to enjoy, and you have given your 2 cents towards this entire night versus what you normally enjoy. But in your own subtle opinion, what's your final take on this entire SummerSlam weekend?
Entire SummerSlam weekend, it was good. To be honest, it's not for me at least. I'm not going out to watch Monday Night Raw tomorrow. It didn't really get me in that mood to do it. But I mean, I thought it was a good show. Everything kind of it felt like just a run of the mill, for me at least, a run of the mill, just another event. Here it's gone. Not like anything we're gonna watch back again, you know. But I'm always happy to be on with you guys. So that's really the reason why I watched it tonight, was to be informed to do this, or else I wouldn't have watched it. So yeah, it was all right. It was good.
All right. And you guys already know where I stand when it comes to my passions across the entire wrestling business, but WWE as an ecosystem and as my form of professional wrestling or entertainment. But overall, I think we got a lot of memorable moments with Seth, CM Punk, John Cena, and Cody Rhodes tore the night down with the emotional roller coaster we were put on. Almost had about experience like good old JR did WrestleMania 25. I felt that some matches could have been better paced. There was definitely some moments of poor execution, maybe a little bit of overbooking, but either way, you have a takeaway from each night, a little bit of everything. And I'm curious to see what this means with WWE down the line, particularly with Cody Rhodes and the WWE Championship and the ever-going saga of the two I think that are going to continue to carry this era, CM Punk and Seth freaking Rollins. But the bottom line is this: SummerSlam 2025, biggest summer ever in WWE history, first ever two-night SummerSlam. It gave enough of a quantity, but you be the judge on the quality. Do I think it should be consistently 2 nights after this? Not really, but it is what it is now in WWE ecosystems, where it's all about the money. And now we know next year we're doing it again, same way, 2 nights, this time from Minneapolis. But that will be then. This is now, and we have finally come to the end of this insane, polarizing SummerSlam weekend and double feature of shenanigans. So thank you all so much for being along with us for the entire ride, for tuning in to share your passion, your analysis, and your opinions. Let's go ahead and get the bleep out of here and prepare for the new week that is ahead. Nick, always a pleasure. I'm sure we're going to see you again on another call here soon. And as always, welcome to the family, bro. Gotta figure out how to grab it for you. Maybe I'll just do a Burger King sign once I get your tag. But right now, where can the people find you?
Yeah, right now you can find me on X. I'm sure you'd see me pop up on JJ's or James's or you guys' stories. But you can actually mostly find me here on the Shenanigans and the Slippery Rival Studios. Just want to shout out, if on any of the streams you guys super chat for the boys and you tell them what you want me to wear for the next Shenanigans, we're on it.
I'm scared, JJ. I don't know if I really want to be the host during that shenanigans. I might literally just, be like, I'm sick. God damn, I don't have a voice. I have to mime. I don't know how helpful that is. But I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there. That being said, JJ, love you, brother. Always a pleasure calling content with you. Again, we're in this for the long haul until there's no longer oxygen in our lungs. But go ahead and tell where the people can find you.
You can find me on Instagram, The Renegade JJ Williams, YouTube, Casa D18 Studios, X, ROWJJ Williams, and Casa D18 Studio. Casa D18 Studio is the one where I host and participate in spaces. We'll see how active I am in those this week with everything going on. I am off pretty much until next Saturday, so I may try to pop into a couple just to kill time, but we'll see based off of the structure and how those spaces go, how long I stay there.
Yeah, fair enough. And again, if you guys wish to continue to engage with my simple mentality for this business, or try and screen cap these to turn me into a meme on your favorite social media engine just for the funniness, I hope I bring positive light into your life in and out of professional wrestling. As he plugs these, I am going to bring you to my office. Simply put, find me if you choose, and in Foster 1916 for all things wrestling. Shout out to AW fam. I know they're going to be very polarizing also in this situation. But follow me if you choose on the X and on YouTube. even though I'm very introverted and I don't necessarily come out into the mainstream in front of you outside of this too. But as always, I conclude, I only wish to remind you and encourage you, there are no winners, there are no losers, there truly are no betters, just fans with own opinions for this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too, more than ever based on what you fought with the outcome and the choices of WWE's business tonight too, and just enjoy live and enjoy professional wrestling too. It is truly as simple as that. Before I, of course, do my usual closing, again, thank you, Jeff, so much for being along for the ride. Follow him on the social medias. There you see them right there. Find him if you want in the most magical place in the world at Disneyland, and stay tuned for the relaunch of the Jeff Meacham Network. We gave a shout out to our Canadian friend Ash. I hope that she is in good spirits again. Don't be a dickhead. Follow our Canadian friend Ash on the social medias, on X and on YouTube. We love her passion for this business, and she is truly a wonderful new addition to the family. Datilla, of course, is in the chat. Follow her at Rangers of Wrestling. With her and Burt Maglin sometimes review TNA and other shows as well. And of course, when she becomes powered on, when it's Rangers Wrestling, when it's wrestling time. And again, can't say it enough. Subscribe to the Rage of Wrestling. Walter Cruz. There you see the social media plugs, primarily the Instagram and on YouTube. That is the bread and butter of the Super Reliable Studios. And of course, you heard his statement. Shout out to James Hebert. Follow him on the social medias there, JHebertSide95 on YouTube, primarily, probably. And of course, follow the work he did on this great documentary in memory and honoring the late, great Gary Hebert. And even though he's John Cena's biggest fan and critic, shout out to the VIPs of the Super Studios in the Dominguez. Find Amanda and Arlene in and out of the chat, and also joining me on Simply Predicting, as we have finally reached the end of this SummerSlam weekend. Puppy. So again, thank you all so much. Let's go ahead and get out of here in typical British game show fashion. For Nick Ferrantes, the founder of his Burger King order, bringer of unknown cosplay, costume mischief, and also making sure that you have it your way with what he brings each and every day. Nick, for you and your dog, say goodbye. Perfect. For the Renegade Wrestling, JJ Williams, who I always encourage, priorities of our passions, always appreciate his takes and his far better fantasy booking than the bigger ups across both the biggest companies here in America. JJ, say goodbye.
Take it easy.
And for me, finally, it is a fond farewell, sayonara, avidase, arrivederci, and goodbye to you all too. Again, thank you all so much in the chat for being along for the entire week and for the entire ride and for the entire SummerSlam, whether or not you found it to your best delight. Until next time, some point in and out of the week, here at the Simple Hour Studios, on behalf of the entire family, make a positive impact in life and have a good night. And thank you for tuning in, not just to SummerSlam, but this special edition of the Sunday off of Saturday Shenanigans. Have a good night, folks. Take it easy.